Hello, everybody. Rob Barefoot here, and I'm here once again with James Hutt, and we're here for Mayor's Desk. This is the February edition. Can we call them once a month now, or are we still going to be trying to do them 2 times a month?
This is February.
This is February. All right.
It's February 6th, and this is your Mayor's Desk.
We want to try and sneak in at least one more before then. One more before then. We're going to try to do the next one. Yeah, in which you'll hear about the topic later on. Either way.
We don't have like a huge convention we're going to or anything.
No, not at the end of the month at all. No. But yeah, guys, this is going to be the episode that's going to be revolving.
Game Manufacturers Association convention. Of course.
3 weeks out from it.
That's a normal thing for normal people to know about.
Well, most of the time we always have details come out around then, so I'd hope they're paying attention. Either way, let's get to the good stuff. So, this is going to be our Netrunner episode. As in the last episode for Rocker Boys, we had you put your questions down in the comments section, and, we took the time to pick it out. We had the big video release last week of Mike's Q&A. That went good, but for this one, yeah, you get us this week. Now, first things first. Let's talk about who you are and what you do, James. What do you do on the side from what we got going on?
So if you've stumbled onto this video, you're very confused at this point. I'm James Hutt. I'm the senior designer at Talsorian Games. I'm also the line manager of Talsorian Presents there at Talsorian Games. And I also run James Hutt Games, my own game studio. And there I make fantastic, awesome things. And you can go to jameshuttgames.com. I'm being told there's some sort of thing on your screen or in the description that will let you find there. And put in your email, and then you get access to my newsletter. And my newsletter has links to a bunch of free games, basically, that are awesome, fun, would be unprofitable to try to publish, and the ability to play test and get your name in one of my books at James Hutt Games.
And if y'all don't know who the
those
heck
come
I
out
am,
every 2 months, 3 months.
Very intermittently.
I don't put them out unless I have something to say and I have something to give you. So,
and for me, myself, I'm Rob Barefoot. I am the media marketing manager here for Talsorian Games. If you have spoken to us on any social media or direct through the media line, you are talking with me. And it has been a busy past month for me, too. We now have the Creator Affiliate Program for people who are reviewers, news outlets, YouTubers. If you guys want to actually get, 1, a discount for your audience, and 2, a little bit of a kickback on the side, you can actually now do so at our new web store, talsorianstore.com. That was a fun thing to put together. Getting that thing going the way it is now, I'm happy with it. I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
Yeah, just wait.
Better than our last one.
Just wait, because I'm doing the website next. I'm tackling the website next month. Watch what I do. Watch me. So
I'm ready.
Now, we need to talk about what the next topic's going to be for Mayor's Desk. So y'all know, you can pick up Interface Red Volume 5, which has Solo Fortune 2045 in it, which is about 50 pages of content extra. You can pick that up over on DriveThruRPG. And if you get the PDF version, when the print-on-demand version becomes available, both standard and premium print, you actually are going to be able to get a coupon to make that a little bit more cheaper. But only if you get it before the release of POD, which should be a couple more weeks. This will get a little more time. But the very, very next topic we're doing, let's go ahead and pull this up here, is going to be actually Interface Red Volume 5. Specifically ACPAs, all the military gear, all the fun stuff. So with some Cybermerc questions, you got some range on this next one. A lot of stuff you can cover.
He's talking about, please ask questions about Solo Fortune. Solo Fortune 2045. That's the bonus article on the back of Interface Red Volume 5. There are many other... The cool part about when you get Interface 5 is you don't just get the really cool bonus article. It's like 50, 60 pages. I don't freaking remember. But it's huge. No,
it's
not really an article. It's kind of a mini... It's half book. It's a half book. There's no word for that. Novella. Game design novella.
I mean, exclusive supplement.
So,
we could just use.
Yeah, but that just sounds like... I mean...
It pushed the border of what it pushed the border of what an
erectile
exclusive
dysfunction,
article
you know?
was. Oh God, it pushed the limits. Like we almost didn't know what to really call it. It was just getting so big. It could have been its own book at one point.
Yeah. So there's not only do you get SOF, you also get an entire rest of a book of amazing articles by me and Jay and a ton of awesome outside writers that we've worked with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really good expansion. We're just getting better. Every interface is getting better than the last interface, and this one is looking real nice. Please do it. You know, we're biased though.
And Shadow Scar is moving along too. Shadow Scar is now going to print. Very, very excited to see that. We only got a few weeks before that's going to be popping out. Yeah, I can't say much on what Cody's working on now, but let's just say he has not slowed down. He's not slowed down.
The man is hard at work.
My God, he does not stop.
He works
But
hard.
yeah, Shadow Scar printed version should be coming soon. I will get you more details, most likely in March, so I'll keep you updated there. Other than that, what else is there really to go on? Fossilized Violence, we still got trucking along. We may not be hitting the February 20th planned date, but we'll keep you all in the loop. Delays always happen. Us setting these release dates was, always tentative. We wanted to lock it in, but things happen. And things involving printers, all kinds of stuff can always delay the process, but it's still coming, and people will soon get to peek at what's coming up at Origins. Origins 2026. Because that's what is it? What is that again? Oh yeah, that's the release of Interface Red Volume 5. Of Night City 2045.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, caffeine and no food's getting me today.
Interface Red. That's not. It's while we love it, the Interface Red is not Night City 2045. That's a major book.
No, it's Night City 2045 comes out Origins 2026. The first time you can get your hands on it is going to be at Origins 2026, which is June 17th. Let's just say we're going heavy on Origins this year. So coming out to Origins is going to be a treat. And if you pre-orders are not open yet. If you pre-order Night City 2045, the first chance you'll be able to get to just straight pick up your pre-order will be with us there at the convention. So you can just straight bring your pre-order to us, and we will fulfill it on the spot with what we have. That's the plan. All should go well. And, well, when pre-orders start, they're going to be in for a right treat, but I'm not going to spoil that yet until time's ready. Expect that soon. But we have jabbered. We have jabbered for a while. Should we get started on this? Okay. All right. So first question about Netrunners. This is basically one of the things people ask about a lot when they're first getting going in the game. And it's very simply, what counts as an access point for a net architecture?
So I'll tackle this from two angles. The first one is, let's say you're a player. So if you're a player, there's a special action to figure out where the access points are in the environment nearby you. And that's called the action scanner. It's the very first interface ability on page 199. Just because we started talking about interface, this is the title of a book. This is interface, the name of the role ability. You're interfacing with net architectures. So it's a meet action, so you can use it outside the net. And you use that to find your access points to the closest net architectures. Okay. Now from the GM side, how do I answer the question of my character, the character that I'm, the player character, just used the scanner action? How do I respond? Well, you can do whatever you want. Sometimes it's fun to have completely insecure devices be access points. Like this blender is for some reason connected to the network. Just so it knows that if a level 2 employee uses it, instead of a level 3 employee, it should produce a lower quality smoothie. That's cyberpunk as hell. Sounds great. The microwave is an access point. I'll go get away from the kitchen for a second. The printer It's probably an access point. The fax machine. The computer. Usually any computer is an access point.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are. Especially ones that are like really, really old. Or like if they have like a cash machine that's an old cash machine. Because Cyberpunk is cyberpunk and not sci-fi. Like
I always like
greater high fantasy sci-fi where like the cash register would be fully electronic. In Cyberpunk, people sometimes still use physical cash registers, right? They use physical cash registers and then they have like a smartphone duct taped to the side of them to go like, yeah, I'll get your order. Thank you for shopping at Pengy Burger.
Yeah,
And they
my
hate
rule
their
of thumb with
job
it
and they have
is
no health
this.
insurance, and that's Cyberpunk. You know, and they had a cyber eye. Anyway, point being is there's still a lot of analog tech. There's analog vending machines in Cyberpunk still. Not everything is a glossy, you know, screen and touchpad. Anyway, and some things that sometimes are net architectures aren't always net architectures. Sorry, I mean access points to net architectures for that. Like sometimes the vending machine isn't connected to the network. Sometimes it's running on its own thing. It has its own net architecture because it's a weird vending machine, and that's different. Why does this vending machine have a whole net architecture? Why is this the highest security vending machine ever? Maybe I should figure out why this is the highest security vending machine ever. I would mix it up. Sometimes they're intentionally, if the place you're going into is a secure environment, they will try their hardest to not put access points in a front room to protect them from Netrunners. But you can't seal every hole of the boat, you know. The leak of the Netrunner will be able to crawl through probably somewhere. But if you have Netrunners on staff, right? Like if you're in a place that has like not just hired a Netrunner to go, is this place hackable? Tell me, Jim. But you like have a staff Netrunner, they will probably lock that shit down, and then you have to go near like a server room, or typically you can't stop something like a Wi-Fi router from being an access point, no matter how hard you try. Alternatively, sometimes there are secure devices that I imagine could be turned into access points if you were to roll a skill check on them. Like, hey, is there anything in here that's currently an access point? All right, is there anything in here? I'm gonna use my electronic security tech that check to check the like security of these devices that I could like turn into an access point with a skill check and some like moving the wires and twisting the cables together. So that's a very full answer on GMing access point access based on your environment. Most environments, by the way, you go outside. Have you ever heard of a Flipper Zero? It is so funking powerful for hacking. And you can just go outside, and if you know anything about hacking, everywhere is unsecure. In our current world, pen testing anything, like you can really easily hack almost everything that you come across on a daily basis, because not many people prepare themselves to go against hacking, right? So in the Cyberpunk world, there are those spaces that like they know Netrunners exist. Everybody knows Netrunners exist in Cyberpunk, just like you know that hackers exist right now. But do you really care? Right? Like if they wanted to, they would. And they're probably going to figure out how to do it anyway. There's not much point in like making sure that you harden your Sony television from hacking. Right? Yep. People are like, yes, I want security. But you would be surprised how many people don't actually care about electronic security. And in the Cyberpunk world, those people exist too. The hot dog cart guy does not care. He knows that his oil vat could be like disabled from by a Netrunner, right? but he's like, I'm not gonna spend the money to fix this. I will just buy another hot dog cart. You know. Anyway,
Let's see.
most things are hackable. If you really need inspiration toward this, you play the Watch Dogs series of video games. They're actually pretty good at that.
My rule of thumb for this: think about it. What can be connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth? Use those examples of appliances or smart devices that you know in your own home or have seen on TV, and that can be a good guide on what would work as it. And also, don't forget, there are some absolute absurd stories of, I believe it was electric toothbrushes being used because they were smart toothbrushes to actually facilitate a DDoS attack. So quite literally, you can have almost anything be it, but if you want a simple rule of thumb to follow, Wi-Fi connection points, Bluetooth connection points, and smart devices. And I agree with James about not having access points in the first room, but anything that will require a control node, for example, automatic doors or automatically locking doors or trigger doors and things like that. Those are solid points too. But yeah, that's at least my rules of thumb for it.
Sometimes they harden security doors though, and then you have to.
It would make absolute sense to. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't be.
Exactly. Think about it this way: anything your character could do, another character can do, and if they could hire that character as a consultant to go, "Hey, tell me about my security. We're trying to run a tight ship here. We'd be happy to pay you."
You ready for the next one?
And then they would be persuaded by that because they rolled really high. Just work out the role playing interaction in your head, and then go, yeah, that makes sense. That they know that Netrunners exist. They can hire Netrunners to make sure that they can't really get in unless they get past a keycard door.
We've been on this one for a hot minute. You ready for the next one?
Yeah. Let's move on. That one's more story role play, so it needs a bigger think of the possibilities answer.
Well, this one here is definitely more mechanic based, and it's a common question we have. It's been on Black Ice. Let's assume that I, as a Netrunner, encounter a Hellhound. Can I use one net action to activate my killer program to attack and destroy the Hellhound? And how exactly does that interaction play out? They're wanting to use Black Ice to attack another Black Ice. I'll let you answer this one. Yeah.
So, anti-program is a type of Black Ice. Anti-program Black Ice. They are meant to kill Black Ice. I'm pretty sure Killer is the classic anti-program. Yeah, it's an anti-program Black Ice. That's what it's for. Here's how your interaction with it works, though. You encounter the Hellhound, right? So you follow the encountering Black Ice rules on page 205. When you encounter an enemy Black Ice lying in wait, in this case a Hellhound, and then architecture, you roll your interface plus any speed bonus you have active, like from Speedy Gonzalez, plus 1d10 versus the Black Ice's speed, which we flip to page 206, is a Hellhound. Their speed is a 6. So they would go, they would add that 6, and then they would add a d10, and if it beats your check, you or one of your active programs at random, in the case of an anti-program Black Ice, the Hellhound is anti-personnel, so it would be you, suffer its effects immediately. So let's say they win, they would do 2d6 damage direct to your brain, and let's say that you were insulated so you don't take the fire effect. Okay. After you suffer its effect, it then gets put on the top of the initiative queue, one number above the entity with the previously highest initiative. So you have other net. You just encountered it, right? Encountering it, now you can act. You just encountered it. You don't get to pre-fire a Black Ice. You kind of have to dodge that first encounter attack. And then you can activate as a net action your killer. And then your killer attacks their using its attack versus the Hellhound's defense. You can figure that one out from here. If it succeeds, it does damage. That will probably be enough damage to de-res the Hellhound, which has a res of 20. So your killer program, 4d6 damage, would have to deal... it would have to roll pretty high to kill the Hellhound in one shot. The good news is you can have 2 killer programs, or you can send killer and use like a sword, or you can use a zap. That's how that interaction works out. Your question tells me that you should basically read 205.
Does this make it an official read the book?
This is an official read the book. I did explain a bit more than just an official read the book, but they legit asked, how do I attack?
And how's the interaction work?
And how does the interaction work?
Yeah.
I think they were wondering about timing, like, can I pre-fire? And they didn't want to like ask, can I pre-fire? Maybe. I don't know. But exhaustive detail in the example on page 205, I promise.
You ready for the next one? I ain't got no notes on this one.
Absolutely.
All right. So, when successfully backdooring a password, do you learn its credentials and can automatically pass through the password without a net action until they are manually changed? Or does backdooring create a temporary door that allows you and other friendly netrunners to pass through it without a net action only until the end of the current net run? I think the question answered itself, but I'll let you go.
Well, so if you can backdoor the password is broken, which implies that you either create a temporary door that you can go through. I believe this goes to the net architecture resetting. I do need to find the specific text of the net architecture resetting.
Because that was the thing. I would feel like the moment they leave and come back in, it resets. But yeah, I see you have it there. Go for it.
Jacking out resets the defenses of a net architecture, meaning you'll have to start your run over from the very beginning, which can only be done by jacking back into the same location you originally entered and giving it another shot.
Because see, to me, what that says is if you want to get the credentials for the password, you need to go deeper and find that information out with an ID.
Yeah, so that's it's a temporary hole, but for sure you create a hole for
He's checking. Don't mind him.
No. Every netrunner needs to pass the password the same. You can't actually. You're not creating a little doorway through. That does give me an idea, though, and it should give your tech an idea too.
All right, you gonna go take the notes down?
Oh, I just gotta hardware.
You have been busy. People are going to wonder what you're cooking. Don't give them ideas. Don't give them hope. How dare you give them hope?
Think of it. Have your tech think about this.
You ready for the next one as you're jotting that one down?
Let's see. Turn.
I'll wait till you're finished before I hit you with the next question. Next is, can you give a couple floor-by-floor examples of backdoor and slide actions when there are black ice and passwords? I'm not sure how those interact. Are you unable to slide past black ice if the next floor has a password, for example? So they don't know if they're able to move past a password when they're dealing with the black ice and they're trying to slide away from it.
Right. So you can't go through a password. So if you want to make so you can't go through a password without using the backdoor action, and you can't slide more than once a turn.
My phone just tried to answer the question for us.
What?
My Google Assistant began to try and answer how to get past. That was wonderful. I was sitting there, I was just holding the phone, and I must have accidentally pressed the Google Assistant button, and it just started to answer the problem.
How'd you do?
I didn't let it. It tried to say if you had a wrong password, such and such, you could reset it. And I'm like, what the hell?
Shut that clanker down.
That was honestly funny. All right, I'll let you continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, no, I got another note out of it. Everything's fine.
Oh, awesome. Using my misery for content.
It's good content. Can you give a couple floor examples, backdoor slide actions? Yeah, let me write you one. So let's do a Hellhound. Hellhound is the most popular program.
Can hear my dog barking. I'm so sorry.
Architectures because it's easily accessible. It does a lot of damage, and it has a in-world effect. Kind of. They like the fire. They like the setting the Netrunners on fire because it tends to make it very hard to net run when you're on fire. It also makes it very easy to tell who's net running you in the lobby when they get set on fire. Hey, it's that guy. It's very clearly that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they use it.
Sorry if I'm distracted. My dog is barking up a storm.
2.
I'll edit out the barks.
Slide actions where there's black ice and passwords. So every floor is its own thing. When you slide, you go to the next. You slide to an adjacent floor of the elevator, but not past a password or another net obstruction. So if you have a Hellhound on floor 1 and a password on floor 2. And you're on floor 1, you encounter the Hellhound, you do, that means they get a chance to attack you on encounter, and then you go, oh crap, and then you use your slide, and you succeed, and then you go to the floor with the password, that's fine. You just slid in front of a door. You can't go past the door unless you roll a backdoor check. So you aren't like, oh no, I found a door, and then the Hellhound gets you. You slide and arrive at the door. If you want to create a net architecture where they can't slide past the Hellhound because there's a password, you have to do this. Floor 1. Hellhound. Password. 2. So basically, you have to be on a floor that is both a Hellhound and a password on it. And then there's a lobby floor in this case. They would have to slide back to the previous floor, which is here 0, but let's just pretend it's a European net architecture.
And so I have to number these slides to make sure we don't have anything awkward pop up again. What? The wrong order. When you started to answer the wrong question last time, because the order was wonky, because 1 was 1 and then 10 right after it. So I have to number 0, 1, 2. Yeah. Same thing. Yes. Same mentality of that. I was just making a joke about it being European.
Yeah. So anyway, you'd slide here, and you would not be able to slide unless you had backdoored that password. So I guess you could, with the same net actions, you're being attacked. You dodge the attack by the Hellhound. You're on the same floor with the password and the Hellhound. You're kind of locked in there. Well, not really locked in, but you can't go farther unless you backdoor. So you'd have to crack the password with a backdoor check, which is another net action. Encountering and moving is not an action. So let's say you have 3 net actions. You're on floor 0 and you go to floor 1. Moving is not a net action. You're here with a Hellhound and a password. You go, oh crud, there's a Hellhound. The Hellhound encounters you. You dodge. It goes to the top of the initiative. Then you're like, gosh, I got to slide away, but I don't want to slide back to 0 because then I got to do this shit again. So you use your a net action to attempt backdoor on this password. You succeed, and you're like, great. Now I don't want to move down to floor 2 because this Hellhound is still following me, right? So I'm going to slide. You go to floor 2, and guess what there is on floor 2? Well, that's another Hellhound. But don't worry, you successfully escaped the first Hellhound. I'm not going to be that mean in this example. You show up with the other Hellhound, they encounter you. You don't have another slide check. You get one slide a turn. Anyway, and this is why it's important to use Scanner. I believe Scanner is the not ID Pathfinder. This is why it's important to use the Pathfinder interface ability on page 199. Because Pathfinder would allow you to see through this password if you had rolled high enough. In order to see that this was one of the classic Hellhound password followed by Hellhound.
Yeah, no notes
AKA,
for me.
Haha, you should have rolled Pathfinder.
And an extra bit on that, when it comes to Pathfinder, when you roll it, how do you usually determine how far down they see?
So, uses a net action to partially reveal the map of the net architecture. The higher you roll, the more you learn. This tells you generally what is in the net architecture you've just broken into, but not the DV of anything. You can see into the architecture a number of floors equal to your check, or up to the first net obstruction, which is usually a password, with a DV higher than your Pathfinder check, whatever happens first. Typically, you roll high enough, you see the whole thing. Or you get stopped by a really high password, and it's like, ooh, what the heck is that thing? Because you don't know the DV, you just know you weren't high enough.
All right. Ready for the next one? Just thought they could use that little extra bit about Pathfinder so they know what we're talking about.
By the book, rules is written 190, bottom of 199, top of 200.
I'm getting a kick out of the fact straight up today you've got the book in front of you because we knew we'd have some technical ones on this one.
It's net running. You have to. Net running is like rules. Net running is less loosey goosey until talk about viruses, and then it's like, congratulations, you got them. What do you want to do?
Well, this one's actually going to be fun. This is a little bit more loosey goosey. Artel has done a fantastic job making Netrunners relevant in most of their scenarios. Any advice for GMs homebrewing their own scenarios? Tips, tricks, or things to keep in mind? I'll let you go first, and I got some too.
I recommend that you use the net architecture generator on page 210 to get some ideas. But the most important part about it is to fit the architecture to the world around it in step 3 on page 210. It has to fit the world. It has to, have a meaning to the world. And most importantly, it needs to have control nodes that connect to the world, or it has to have files that are relevant to the story or not relevant to the story and provide side content. One of my favorite things is if you have a Netrunner and you have a media, there's a little cool synergy where the Netrunner can find stuff in a net architecture and then give it to the media, and they can publish a story about it. And it's like a 1-2 teamwork punch. I dig that kind of shit because I like medias. Maybe eventually we'll do an episode about medias.
Won't be the next one, but will. Ready for mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your best friend is control nodes and having different net architectures in different locations. Have files that affect one net architecture in another. Like, for example, even the passwords of one or things like that. So as long as you have it so there's multiple net architectures that have different access points, you are making the Netrunner have to move around the map just as much as the rest of the team. They're not just sitting in one secure location. They have to physically go. If you want to be even more evil, put some valuable information in an analog computer. Just a laptop that is a DAW or something like that, where if they want to get a Rocker Boys True Master file, they have to go to the completely unconnected PC and pull it from there, but they can only find it with the help of looking through at least 3 other net architectures for the right information via ID. Multiple ones, they ain't got to be big. Control nodes are your friend, especially ones that run separate systems. You don't have to make them crazy. They don't even have to be more than 3 or 4 floors. But multiple ones mean the Netrunner has to move around. And moving them around keeps them engaged.
I like a nice 7-floor net architecture because it gives you room for air and interesting content. For like most convention game stuff, I would say long net architecture is like they should be rare and they should be really crazy and cool. Um, but uh, but yeah, the really inventive, complicated net architectures I would save for if you're ever in like a a game that has multiple netrunners. Because if there's two netrunners in your party, you got to do some crazy shit.
Speaking of which,
Take the event, do all the Ghost in the Shell stuff you want. Okay.
I can go ahead and let you know. I'm pretty sure we have a question about multi-net runners in here soon. I'm not sure where it is, but it is in here.
Totally supported. Let's talk about it.
Well, we're actually going to talk about something similar to what you just brought up with medias. This next question is, how do you set the resale value of files? Files are described as treasure that netrunners can find and sell, but I don't recall any indication of value. Is it tied to their DV? Is it the same as their cost per DV when building an architecture?
Nope.
Yeah, because I feel like this is a GM's call too.
It depends. It depends, right? Like, how valuable is this information really?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a GM call, 100%. I would have seriously valuable files, like $1,000. Like, if every once in a while, like, there's a reason you learn to net run. These things are good, and they should be like little cash bombs that you just like get. Netrunners should be making money.
Memory chips are your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a quick and easy one. It is set by the GM because, someone's laundry list is going to be 10 eddies, but a blueprint for a weapon that no one has made yet, that's a big cash.
That might be $500 easy,
Mm-hmm.
Certainly if you're one of the reasons you play Netrunner is because every once in a while you just like get handed a $500 bill.
Makes up for that huge entry cost.
Also, it kind of pays you back for all the programs that ASPs are destroying.
Yep. Ready for the next one? That was a good and easy one. I was happy with that one.
Yeah.
Is this the mysterious...
Except their question is there any logic to this? And we go, it's common sense. That's not a satisfying.
People hate when we answer that one, though.
But it is. Normally, when mortally wounded, you take a critical injury when taking additional damage. Oh, I'm reading the next question.
That's the funny part. I had just hit the question, too. So normally when mortally wounded, you take a critical injury when taking additional damage. What happens when a mortally wounded netrunner takes additional damage in the net?
Okay. I have to go to the full text of mortally wounded. Give me a moment. It's not that far away from net running. I'll find it in a second. Face downs. Face down. And vehicles. Injuries. Mortally wounded. Ahem. Mortally wounded characters suffer a critical injury whenever they're damaged by an attack. So if you're damaged in the net by a make an attack, a zap is an attack. Attacker programs are attacks. And yep, they're attacks.
They are attacks, but they deal damage directly to the brain.
Yes, they do damage directly to brain. So obviously, there's two minds here. One is, should we give them a head critical injury? I would argue no. Because it doesn't make much sense, does it?
Well, in my opinion, since it's damage directly to the brain, I would not apply the critical injury, but I would do the additional damage. Because some of those critical injuries are exterior injuries, like loss of eyes, loss of limbs.
Do anything. They're already mortally wounded. They're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll bleed out.
Or fry. The brain's already turned to mush.
No, this is a unintended. I'm gonna try to change this in a future printing, because you're right. It's weird, but I believe that it doesn't say like how to do it. Did it not even say the other one? Give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a critical injury when they're damaged by an attack. That depends on the location they're targeting. And since you aren't targeting a location, because it's in the brain, it doesn't work.
Mm.
However, that is not iron laid out. It should say suffer a critical injury when they're damaged by an attack from a physical attack, right? Or an attack in meat space. This is one of those things where it's like vague. Yeah, no. It would be weird for you to net run somebody's eyes out of their sockets.
Would be cool. But
it would be cool.
They're looking for
like
an exact answer on this one.
Nothing else in net running causes any critical injuries. Like, unless it's part of their program effect. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I think the mechanics of it is like, if the person is dead to rights and you attack them again, you can carve them up physically.
Ready for the next one?
And they kept shooting at him after he was down type gruesome death. It's not like, and they kept net running him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He was net run. Savagely net run.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, thought I hit the button. There it is. All right. So this actually has to do with some 2077 stuff. If a Netrunner gets infected with a neural virus, example by slotting an infected shard, should they be able to cleanse the infection themselves, or does it take a trip to the Ripper Doc or hospital? Clarification, this is for Neuroport cybernetic implant getting infected, not an external cyberdeck.
The question is, can you net run your own brain? And yes. In the system, we presented an Netrunner mission kit, which I will now say, the sentence that you've all been waiting for, is not a full thing.
We've been saying that forever, though.
I know. We are still gonna, and wait for the full thing, but this is now essentially a homebrew question, because we don't have infected shards in that guide, so technically there's not any rules for this yet. But I'm gonna say, fuck yeah, let's homebrew for a second, right? Let's have some fun. And I would have it at the base of their net architecture, and I would let them net run themselves, net run the infection out from inside their own head, and have a cool scene about it. Maybe I would treat it as like a demon that was in their own head that they needed to defeat, that was causing them some sort of downside until they defeated it.
You see, for me in this, the keyword is virus. The moment somebody ends up getting a virus, it's the same as whenever you put a virus in somebody. You're going to be sitting there net running yourself, or hopefully have a friend of yours jack into your own neuroport and try to beat the virus DV that's in you. And hopefully do that in time before it does some major damage. I
would kind of have the check to find that, but then I'd still make him kill it. Because I'm a cool dude and I have Mega Man thoughts in my head right now.
No, I get you. And for me, it's like a beat the clock thing. If you've got a virus that manages to get to the root of your neuroport, you need to hurry and pray it's not something severe.
Would be set in the bottom of your neuroport. The viruses can't be set anywhere else.
Yeah, it reminds me of the logic viruses from Nier. Like you want to handle it quick
Right.
before it gets to a stage 4
And
infection,
frankly,
or you're screwed.
the infected shard that started this fun homebrew conversation is a homebrew item.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a cool idea. It's a real cool idea.
It could be anything. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have. Here's the thing: when you're homebrewing this type of infected shard, I would not have them not get a check after they slot it in to go, oh shit.
So, remember how I said earlier there was definitely questions about
multi-net
runners?
Roll and then they fall off the cliff. I never just kick players off of a cliff. I do. Always let them try to grab the edge and then fail because it's more drama, it's more fair, and it's more fun.
Oh, I'm one for narrative, but I'm one for narrative too, but I like my risk. Gotta have a little risk. Here is the question I mentioned earlier. I knew was coming.
I just don't want to turn them into 10-foot pole wielding goblins.
Can two Netrunners who are jacked into someone's neuroport battle each other inside of it? I mean, I could already tell you that's a yes.
Yes.
The neuroport is treated as a net. I'm not done. The neuroport is treated as a net arc with the same number of floors being equal to the amount of self-ice plus the final node after them. Could a Netrunner jack into their friend's neuroport and lie in wait for an enemy Netrunner to battle them?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. That is rules as written, actually. That's already in the Edge Mission Kit, the ability to do that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't show up in the adventure because, like...
Doesn't happen.
Why would it?
Yeah.
But it's definitely in there. I know it's in there because I wrote it.
Mm-hmm. On to the next one. That one was easy, but I knew it was coming. Now, this is actually a cool concept here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be interesting to hear from you. Is it possible to use complementary checks for net running, like cryptography checks to improve backdoor interface checks, or maybe deduction for Pathfinder?
Yes. Yes. Complementary checks everywhere. It's also
people are thinking the right way with this. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Y'all are thinking the right way with this. Everyone's afraid of net running, but people's pretty much got it under wraps when it comes to it. I was happy seeing some of these.
These people, I don't know about y'all.
All right, well, here's one that quit making them hit bingo cards. That's what you're doing right now. We've already said common sense and read a book. What's next?
Common sense, read the book.
And also ask your GM's already been hit too. Yeah.
Have a discussion with your table. Have a rule 0 discussion with your table.
Don't forget the rule of cool.
Don't forget the rule of cool. Yeah.
Speaking of which, next question, because it leads into that. In Black Dog on page 439, Numo is able to take control of drones, cranes, and giraffe drones, even with a range upgrade that is only 8 meters, 4 squares. Is he using a T-up upgrade / deck? Are single node architectures, especially for drones, common? Or was that a bit of bending the rules because it'd be fun and cool?
Well, I mean, obviously he's within access to an access point. That's how he's doing all that net running. And as for if Numo is using a T-up upgrade deck, you're going to have to ask him. I lost his phone number, unfortunately. But if you directly email Mike Pondsmith, he will. Don't do that.
Please don't.
He will be able to answer. Because I think he has his phone number.
Yeah. Just wait for Numo's stat block if you're actually curious.
Wait for Numo's stat. We're doing Numo's stat block. I don't think we're doing Numo's stat.
No. It's look, when you're telling a story,
everything is fine.
The world fits the story.
I promise you that Numo followed the rules to take control of all of that stuff. He probably did have the range upgrade, though, because the range upgrade is pretty good. He might have tech upgraded his range upgrade hardware. Tech upgrading hardware is pretty cool, by the way. We'll have to look into that in the future.
I'm not going to say anything at all. Just going to keep eyeballing you.
You're not.
I am going to roll to the next question because this is one of the long ones. Shit. This one's going to take a while to read. So you ready? Like I always have to ask y'all, keep the question short because I got to make them fit on a card. And I also
for some reason you also when you send them to me, you send them to me as like a thumbnail.
I sent you the actual size. I sent you the actual size.
On my computer, it wants to be like a tiny little fucking thing.
Well,
I'm clicking on it. No.
Yep, you're breaking stuff. Just let me read it to you. Let me read it to you. As a GM, I have a question about the DNA lock under Cyberdeck hardware. Cyberdeck hardware, page 208. On that table, it says that a cyberdeck with a DNA lock cannot be accessed without either its biometric key or a DV17 ELEX tech check. Am I understanding correctly that this means, in addition to being unable to net run with it, programs and cyberdeck hardware, including the lock, cannot be uninstalled until the lock is opened or bypassed? Can I destroy the lock with force to deactivate it? And does this break the cyberdeck, perhaps beyond repair? Is this up to the GM, or are there any specifics for this in Raw?
I'm gonna need something extra for this.
I guess this means it's about to be an edit. What the fuck is that thing? Okay.
Yeah, I do hereby declare that you would have to destroy the cyberdeck if you destroyed the lock on it as a security feature. Otherwise, you will follow the rules of the cyberdeck hardware on page 208.
I'm at a loss for words. I first thought that it was a didgeridoo.
It is not. It is a staff.
It's a staff. I was going to say that's just a nice security feature of the DNA lock. If anyone tries to bypass it, it completely fries it. You know, we already have that with phones nowadays.
Yeah, for funsies, let's read it together, because we love reading sections together.
I've not even touched my book this whole time, and you're making me get it.
No, I got it. It says cannot be accessed with either its biometric key or a DV17 electronic security tech check. So the method of unlock varies on the model of the DNA lock. You can get one that uses a thumbprint, an iris scan, a blood sample, or any other kind of biometric method. So yes, there is one that you have to piss into, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not pissing on a cyberdeck.
Well, you're not getting in. So yeah. It says cannot. So that means if you destroy it, you still ain't getting in. But you're probably going to destroy it in the process if your GM sees you doing a Zoolander. The files are in the computer.
Think of it like this.
That's a movie where a very intelligent man picks up a PC and smashes it and goes, "The files are in the computer," and tries to get into it. He's also a male model. It's a good movie. You should watch it.
It's not just a tiny latch holding it closed. It is a complete lockdown of the entire system. And what would be the point of it versus a normal lock if it did not have a security measure that properly protected everything inside if someone tried to get into it by force?
The other thing is you can always find a person that can solve a DV17 electronic security tech check. Also, nobody said you couldn't retry that check if you keep using little bits of luck, right? Especially if you're a player character and you have access to luck. All right, I'm gonna put this thing away. It's too magical.
It caught me off guard, that's for sure. I did not know how to process that one when you came in pointed. I really thought it was a didgeridoo. Yeah. That does bring us to the end of it all, though. We've actually been going now for over an hour. We've been at this for an hour. So I think it's time we do wrap it up again. Everybody, thank you for coming through. Again, Night City 2045 releases at Origins. It's going to be June 17th. Keep your eyes open for pre-order. We are doing early pre-orders. I won't say when. You'll know when. So go ahead, subscribe here. Pay attention to the channel. And as always with James, where can they find you?
So you can find me at... Where is it? We're trying to...
You got to twist it a little. There you go.
JamesHuttGames.com.
You don't have to do that. I have a sign for you. You know what? I'm just going to leave that one up. I'm just going to leave that one up. And
I love it.
Again,
and I have other pairs of scissors, so I'll be fine.
Our next episode is going to be over Interface Red Volume 5 as a whole. I take that back. Over Solo of Fortune 2045 as a whole. And you can go ahead and ask your questions down here in the comments section. We'll be there pretty much keeping an eye on stuff to select the questions. Otherwise, yeah, this is a wrap. We'll see you all later this month. We're going to try to get this one done before Gamma. We swear. We're going to do our best to. It's been busy.
We'll try.
But yeah, take care, y'all. Have a good day.
Take care, everybody.